Hi everyone. So during this pandemic, I started playing a lot of VR because of the shelter in place. I actually started streaming on Twitch, and I've gotten a lot of questions about what VR headsets people should look into. So I decided to put together this video comparing the different affordable options of VR headsets in case you're looking to buy one yourself. I'm going to start off with the Oculus Rift. That's pretty much the OG. It came out in March 2016. So this is selling refurb on the Oculus website for $299, which is an amazing price if you have a PC with a graphics card that can handle the VR headset. It comes with the headset, the two controllers, and it has two sensors. So the sensors can stand on any flat surface, and all you'd have to do is manually adjust the angle. But if you wanted to play room scale, you would actually need to buy a third sensor. If I remember correctly, they're about like $100 or so. But if you try to play room scale without the third sensor, you can get some lag and just some weird things happening in the game. So I definitely recommend buying the third sensor if you want to play room scale. But after that, I haven't had any issues. So, I love it. Although I will say that the main complaint people have about it is actually regarding the controllers. So the controllers, they require a AA battery. So this just opens up, and so you'd require a AA battery. And so this is really cool that the battery cover is magnetic, so it just snaps back into place. But that is actually where the biggest issue that people have. If they're flicking their wrists a lot, then there's a tendency for the battery cover to actually come off of the controller. So that's how you would hold this controller. Along with that, the face shield is made out of foam, so if you play a lot of Beat Saber like I do, you'll probably get this pretty soaked up and sweat. But in saying that, most of the VR headsets are actually made out of this foam right out of the box. Since the Oculus Rift is connected to your PC, it's pretty easy for your friends and family to watch you play. Basically, anything that you're playing will be projected onto the computer, so that is a lot of fun. Now onto the Rift S. That's $399, and the Rift S is actually the successor for Oculus Rift. Now, while the Rift S has increased resolution, which is great, but I personally wouldn't recommend it because it actually has a slower refresh rate. The original Rift has 90 Hertz panel versus 80 Hertz on the Rift S. What that means is a 12.5% reduction, meaning you're more likely to get motion sickness due to the slower refresh rate. So if you're prone to motion sickness like I am, you would probably not want to get the Rift S. Now moving on, so there's the HTC Vive. HTC Vive has been discontinued, but this is one of the OG headsets. It came out around the same time as the Oculus Rift. So this is being replaced by Vive Pro Eye and Vive Focus Plus. They're not out yet. So historically, Vive has been more expensive than Oculus, so that's just something for you to keep in mind. If you are able to get your hands on these for a cheap price and in good condition, it is definitely worth it. Again, this needs a PC with a graphics card that can support the headset. Just look on either the Vive or the Oculus website, and they'll be able to tell you if your graphics card can handle the headsets. So the Vive comes with the headset and rechargeable controllers, meaning you won't need AA batteries, and the two lighthouses. This is what the controllers look like, and they're a lot easier to hold, and more people like them than the Oculus controllers. So the Vive comes with two lighthouses, and great news, they're actually enough for full room scale. That means you won't need to buy an additional sensor like you do with the Oculus Rift. So the lighthouses come with mounts, and you can mount them to the wall. The Vive sensors do need to be at a certain height, generally above your head. But whereas, for example, the Oculus Rift sensors, you can just have them on the floor or on any flat surface. The interesting thing with the Vive is that they actually also come with two different face shields, one for a wide face and another for a narrow face. These are also foam, so you'll need to clean them as well. The way I clean mine, I would gently wash it with like baby soap and under like warm water and just gently rub it and then let it air dry. And since the Vive connects to the PC, it's again very easy for your friends and family to watch you. It will just show up on your computer screen. Now I'm going to mention the Samsung Odyssey Plus because it's around the same price point at $499, but it does have a major flaw that makes me not want to recommend it. So Odyssey does not have its own ecosystem. It works with Steam VR, but it doesn't have 100% support like the Oculus or Vive, so there can be issues with tracking, controllers, etc. A big positive though with the Odyssey Plus is that there's increased resolution, so that means improved picture quality. Odyssey, like the Oculus and Vive, needs a PC to run, but personally I have not used the Odyssey, so that's as much as I can say about it. Now moving on to standalone headsets. Pretty much the only standalone headset that can still play a majority of the VR games is Oculus Quest. So since it does not require a PC to play, this makes it very versatile and mobile. And yes, this means that you won't have any cables coming out of your head or anything like that. So it comes in two different built-in memory sizes. The first one is 64 gigabytes, that's $399. And then the second size is 128 gigabytes, which is $499. Now, between the two, I mean, honestly, 64 gigabytes should be enough. You'd be able to have a decent amount of games in it. But if you can afford the 128 and you think you'll be playing a bazillion games, then go for it. The other great thing about the Quest is since it's mobile without any cables or wires, that means that you don't need to set up any sensors. Now, with this increased mobility, that means that there are some trade-offs. For example, the Quest itself doesn't have as much raw hardware power as a computer since it's mobile, so the graphics just aren't as good. However, if you're a normal user that hasn't spent much time playing with PC headsets, then you're probably not going to notice much of a difference. The battery life is rated 2 to 3 hours, so there's a decent amount of gaming time with time to rest your eyes in between. However, after a game, you'd probably have to recharge it. If you wanted though, you can get a battery bank such as Power VR, and that will increase the battery life. Again, this has a foam face shield, and I think it's important for me to mention that because mine gets so sweaty. So just something to know that you'll probably have to get a cover for your face shield just so that other people can play it. One of the drawbacks is that in its current state, you can't really project what you're seeing to an external display without a lot of lag and other issues. So if you wanted to bring it to a party and have people see what you're playing, they probably won't be able to because it's just really laggy. But while Quest allows you to play most games, it is important to note that they're ported from other VR ecosystems. Now, a big win for the Oculus Quest is that recently Oculus has released Oculus Link. And this actually just happened a couple of months ago. So Oculus Link is essentially a cable that attaches Oculus Quest to your PC and allows you to play Oculus Rift and Steam VR games. However, since it only came out a few months ago, this technology is still in beta phase, so there's still a lot of development that they need to do in order to make the tethered performance of the Oculus Quest on par with other VR headsets. Oculus Link costs $80 and is currently sold out. There are third-party cables, but I've heard they're pretty awful, so I think you're probably better off waiting to just get the official Oculus Link. So there you have it. That is my review of the affordable headsets. If you wanted a summary, basically since HTC Vive is no longer being sold and is discontinued, unless you can get your hands on it, your only real options here are either the Oculus Rift or the Oculus Quest. And so it's just a matter of, do you want to invest or do you already have a PC that has a good enough graphics card to handle the Rift? If not, then your best option is probably to go with the Quest. All right, thanks guys, have fun gaming.